Back-to-back game days on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. It's the Leaf Hour edition. Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo, Ethan Jaja Gabor pushing all the right buttons for us. I'm Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. We're live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available at your convenience, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And we welcome in YouTube, where the chats are always hot. Feisty on the Toronto Maple Leafs and that much more. We also have Kevin Lowe in about 35 minutes. He'll help us tee up Toronto and the Edmonton Oilers tonight, a game that can be seen on Sportsnet with our very own Justin Bourne on the panel tonight. And at the top of the hour, Steve Valiquette for his regularly scheduled Tuesday.
Yes.
In the meantime,
Leafs win. Leafs win.
There's some life. There's some life in the Leafs with back-to-back wins against Vancouver and Calgary. Dare I say that they go for 3 in a row before closing out for the Olympics. This one last night. Welcome back, Willie Nylander, on a pretty fine performance of displaying pure talent.
But
of course.
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
You watch a game last night, and he's just not in the same league as that game. Like when he's on, he looked like that at the start of the Vegas game. He has these days where he is just the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
Has these days when he's on.
Yeah.
Right? And he was on last night.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Just say it.
He teed it up.
No, just say it.
He
Just
teed
like,
it up.
Steve,
Why
like,
can't he
like,
just... Yeah,
we know.
right.
We're all tired.
It's
just get into it.
It's just...
Let's cut
it was very predictable, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You didn't predict it yesterday, did you? That Willie was going to come in and light it up?
He has that ability.
Yeah.
The question is, do people see it often enough?
Not even hurt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I was thinking there watching that game last night, Kip, and I was thinking if Willie hadn't missed 18 games this year, how many points do they have in the standings? How many more do you think? 3? Do you think 3? Maybe they win one more game with them?
Yeah, it's hard not to think that a guy with that much talent can't find a way to put another 3 or 4 for the
like
team.
A couple of those games that are close. Maybe he gets you into overtime in one. Maybe you win one more. And then, you're knocking on the door with 3 or 4 more points, but you don't have them. And now they are 7 points out of a playoff spot. And people are talking themselves into it again.
If Willie didn't go through that stretch, are they right in the thick of things for you, Sammy?
Maybe. I mean, they struggled with him in the lineup, too, this year. So it's not like you... I think they probably would have, is he a one-win player during that stretch? Maybe they're 2 points better, 3 points better, but I don't think it makes that big of a difference. He's not exactly a defensive stalwart, and the defensive zone has been the biggest issue for the Leafs.
No. And it has that part of not being able to kind of do it on a real consistent basis is the fact that there's been a level of acceptance of that's just Willie being Willie, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
baked into the recipe a little bit.
Though I really think
3 straight 40-goal years.
That's the thing. It gets undersold how great players in the NHL, you're not going to score 3 a night.
Yeah.
McDavid doesn't get 3 a night. They come in fits and starts, and I just think that's kind of the way it goes, and he's in this market, and so that comes up. I don't know if he's much more streaky than the next guy. I will say I'm doing a little thing on him tonight just because he was so good last night and looked at his stats, his point per game stuff. So this year, the thing that really stands out with Willie, so he's on his highest points per game rate by a good distance. Highest ever in his career is 3.4 points per game. He's on pace for 4.2 points per game this year. The reason for that is assists. His assists are through the roof, through the roof. He never been higher than usually 1.1 assists, primary assists per 60. He's at 2, almost double, what he's usually at this season in primary assists.
And the one where he set up Stetcher.
Yeah. And his shots per game are almost half as high as they've been in the past. So not nearly as many shots, way more assists, which is interesting. I don't know if that's Marner related. You mentioned, does he feel the need to be more of a distributor? Is it a conscious thing, or just Willie's dishing it more for some reason? I don't know.
We got a Stetcher clip on him.
Yeah, I mean, he just, he couldn't look like more of a hot shot out there.
But this is also
like his get up, like 88 tucked in jersey, tinted visor, white stick.
But this is coming off. He
could not look more of a hot shot.
It's also him on his best behavior in terms of the attention to detail and coming back. And this is coming off the worst experience of his NHL career.
What, the finger?
Yeah, the finger.
Yeah.
Right? Don't tell me that didn't have a lot to do with the attention and the focus last night.
That's an interesting thought.
I don't think it did.
Oh my God!
Well, he played on Saturday. He played against the.
But listen, he's dialed in here. He has to make a statement here in the last few games, and he also has to show that it wasn't just saved for the Olympics. Like this is these two games, particularly last night and then coming in tonight. He's got to come in with another very noticeable. I'm not saying he needs to come up with 3 points. But you have to see the same type of dominance, I think, tonight to really, for him to feel good about leaving and going to do his thing during the Olympics. I think it's real important for him.
It's funny, like, was it last year that he almost had 100 points and he went ice cold 2 years ago? He was like at 95 with 8 games left or something.
That was the
ice cold.
That was the chasing 70 year, chasing 100 for him, Marner chasing 100. Like there was like that. They all had the individual stats.
Yeah.
And I think Matthews got hurt during that. Willie got hurt during that.
I think the point I want to make with that is like sometimes we imply that he can do it whenever he wants. And, he had that stretch where he just couldn't do it. And these guys kind of go through that sometimes. So I don't know if last night he's turning it on for a reason, but I do think, Kip, that there's something to what you're saying, that he was in the crosshairs a little bit more and incentivized to come out and be like, okay.
I think so.
Show these guys that I'm worth it.
Let's get Craig Berube thoughts on
or he's an airhead. And he's just like,
Willie.
Yeah.
Clip 2.
Well, I see early on I could just tell like he's just engaged right away, skating, winning all his puck battles. Defensive plays, offensive. I mean, he was dialed in.
Dialed in, engaged. Like when you have coaches describing McDavid or Nathan McKinnon, or they don't go, well, he was engaged tonight. They don't use that term.
No. You mean the 2 best players in the league? Yeah.
Okay,
keep
going.
They're the 2 best players in the league.
Keep going.
Like, I just, what do you want from him?
I want him to be a leader. I want him to lead the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is that too much to ask?
So last night he couldn't have done enough to satisfy that, though, because last night that's as good as you can do, right? Like that's a.
It's just that every time he has a good game, we come in here and we have this conversation.
No.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, well, it's fine though, but it's
I don't know.
Okay to have that conversation, and it's okay to have the conversation of okay. So we've had different scopes this week, from blow it up to retool.
Yeah,
and if you look at certain people on the internet today, it's like you can't get rid of that. There's no chance, right? And to your point, which you've been very consistent on, you're not replacing that talent.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're not getting rid of it.
Yeah, I just can't imagine. Do you think that anyone saw that he got in a little bit of heat for, he's wearing a wife beater and his feet up and he flips a bird to the camera? Do you think any other teams out there were like, you got to get that guy out of there? What's it going to take? We'll take him off your hands.
Yeah, boy.
Like, do you think he took calls?
He's a real problem for you guys.
You guys got to get him out of there. Yeah. He's no good.
No, he's
I think there's I think constantly people would envision Willie being the difference maker on their team.
Yeah.
But I've always said this, that there's certain guys that may have a reputation, and whatever that reputation is, they either go, he's not for us, or we can live with it.
Yeah. And
I always come back to the same common denominator. How strong's your room? Because it ain't me that's going to police them. It ain't the head coach. General manager can only go to the well a few times with meetings. But how strong is the room for a guy like Willie?
But I don't get this talk with Willie, because I got time for saying he's inconsistent or at times unfocused. He's not out beating his wife or getting drunk or gambling, whatever. The first thing we could ever say in 10 years here is he shouldn't have flipped a bird at the camera.
No, we can also say other things like, hey, don't blow the zone. Don't cheat. Don't go on breakaways.
Right, but you don't need a strong room to deal with a guy.
No, you do. You do, because with the Florida Panthers, they've had guys in the last, couple of years, and they've pulled a Seth Jones aside and say, hey, we don't do that here. Mm-hmm. We don't do that here. And that's what I'm talking about, a strong room.
Right. Because usually you're thinking of can this room handle Evander Kane when he comes into it? No, it's not.
Yeah, but it's how do we win together, and how do we get what you do? And there's some guys that can just be really great, talented guys that do wonderful things that make themselves look good. But can you do that on top of it's great for our team as well? And there's some guys that can go out there and look real good.
Can you do the Kovalev Willie thing for us? Like you saw Alexei Kovalev, who has a similar reputation.
And I've seen Mark right in front of my eyes, and Keenan and all of them going, okay, it's great, but it's not helping us right now. Your shifts are too long. Yeah. You're coming back to the bench half-assed here. Your changes stink, right? All of it. Can you tighten that up for us?
I totally think they need that.
Right?
I thought Berube was going to be that. That's why they got the guy who was chief.
That's what I'm saying here when it comes to Willie. Willie still does things that are really good for Willie. I'm just not sure that is it good overall for the team, and can we win with it when we need it the most? And listen, I'm with you 100% on, oh my gosh, how great he is, how talented he is, how much fun he is to watch. Last night was a lot of fun watching him. And it sells. It can sell tickets. I get all of that. But is it enough now to say that whatever we're going to go through, a retool, a rebuild, if we're going to keep him, it's because we're going to have Willie and a few others lead us to the next time we're contending?
I don't think it's out of the question. You hear a lot of stories about superstars and growing up and changing the way they played from when they came in the league. Whether, I don't know, Joe Thornton might be an example. I've been talking to Daryl Sutter. He said Jerome McGinley, his priorities changed over his career. Will that happen with Willie? I don't know. Yeah, I look at Artemi Panarin, who, no cups and $100 million, and his next goal is more money. Is that?
But 100%.
Not everyone changes their focus.
Go look at Panarin in the playoffs. Okay, we want to talk about Marner no-show or Willie no-show in the playoffs or Matthews no-show. Go look at Panarin.
Yeah.
No-show.
Yeah.
When the character needed to shine the most, that guy's not exactly shining bright.
No. And I think it could happen with Willie. I don't know. But I think you're better off having a guy who has the ceiling and the ability to get there and hope you can get through to him in that way than just having a bunch of guys who can never get there, So you hope he can do it.
And I hope that whole finger incident was a wake-up call for him too, right?
Yeah.
A real learning lesson.
Yeah, it's unprofessional, right? You're the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're one of the team's leaders.
All right. You got Stetcher. You like Stetcher's comments on Willie?
I did, but it's just, let's play it. Yeah, let's play it. Sure.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, man. I wish I could play that way. Honestly, it's pretty cool to watch him.
What do you notice, though?
He's so talented, obviously, and he just plays with so much confidence, and when he makes a mistake, it doesn't beat him up, and he's still out there making plays, and he's one of the top players in the world for a reason. It's impressive to watch him every day do what he does, so I'm a big fan.
Troy's boys. I think when they have the sports talk Toronto Hall of Fame inductions, William Nylander, first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's the one.
Him and Vince Carter, who we still talk about in this market, however many years later. Marner would be maybe in that conversation too. But William Nylander has always been the perfect guy to please some people and piss other people off. If it's almost like political parties. He's right down the middle for people to tons of stuff to love, tons of stuff to hate. It's just the perfect guy that people have yelled at each other about for 10 years and will do until the end of his career. It's just
Yeah.
I can't. He's a first ballot
You
radio
can get
sports
like
talk
the
Hall of Fame
conservative
guy.
and liberal voting
Yes.
polls and
Yeah.
be like, they like Willie, he doesn't.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
He's going to have to find a way to go deep in the playoffs to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I meant sports talk.
Oh, no,
not NHL Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you meant
no,
Hall of
like
Fame,
sports,
Hall of Fame.
like sports talk Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Like
I didn't know
for-
there was one.
No, I'm creating
You
it.
just made
And
it.
he's on the first
Okay.
ballot.
Gotcha. Without a doubt.
Because he's created so much conversation. I just like, you always have the overarching point of, are they going to win with him? Probably. They're probably never going to win. There's gonna
Why
be
do you
30
say that?
Because there's going to be 34 teams in the league and
No.
teams win.
It's just not.
They're
It's
probably
not
never going to
about
win.
the percentages.
They're
It's
probably never going
because
to win. But he's really good. And it's just-
he is really good. The question is, for me,
And his-
can
his contract's going to continue to get better.
We know he's talented. We know he's great. We know people pay to go see him. Is there room left for him to become a true leader here?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Like, I don't think. I think at this point, how old is he now?
29?
Almost 30, I think.
At what point are you what you are?
But you still want to keep him around, right?
Yeah.
So who's that? So who's
Unless they
the
trade him-
onus on now to lead this team?
Unless they trade him
Matthews?
for a top defenseman, like we talked about. If they're trading him for a real 28-minute a night kind of first pair
Yeah,
defenseman,
but
we'll have that conversation.
we just went through this. He says no.
no,
don't do it.
we said that. We talked about this earlier this week.
You okay?
That we would do that.
You're okay with still trading him for?
Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you turned him into, like a legitimate number one D, for sure. I mean, anything, you got to consider everything.
But you don't necessarily turn wingers into number one D. You don't.
Nope.
Listen, if you sort the league this year by whatever points per game, that stuff I'm looking at, Willie's as good as anyone. It's offensively, he's as good as anyone anyway. So if you're a desperate team for offense and you have an excess, you never know. But no, I have no interest in moving off Willie.
No.
All right.
What else did you like about last night's game? You want an overview from Berube?
Sure. Let's play it.
Let's check in.
Yeah, it was a lot of momentum swings in the game. I thought early on, the first 7-8 minutes of the first, we kind of didn't really grab control of it, and they had control, but we got control. Second period, like I thought we came out, we got the 3-0 lead, and then they got a quick 2 goals. And third, I liked our start of the third, and kind of like we're not hanging on, but we let them come at us too much late. But the goalie, there's some crazy bounces to it again. It's off the boards or off people, but our goalie was really good, and guys competed. We blocked a lot of shots. We had to tonight, and JT's line, was really good for us tonight.
JT's line. I think that's something where you can maybe you got 2 players back when you got Willie back, because I think Tavares
He had much better energy too last night. JT
having him on that line really feels like a kind of bit of a defibrillator to him, because there was a long stretch there where you're getting a lot of nothing from him. So maybe having him back, seems like Michelli and Nylander have a bit of chemistry on that line. So maybe you actually have a second line there now.
There's a really weird thing. Like Michelli, when he's on that line, their numbers are very good. Like they're over 60% expected goals as a line. Of course, they're playing the Calgary Flames last night, but they looked really good. Joe Woll, really encouraging going into the second half of the season. He's kind of found himself a little bit here, .933 save percentage in his last 2 starts.
It's too bad there wasn't a day in between last night and tonight. Because
I want to see Stoley tonight,
because you would have played.
Yeah.
You would have played Wall again against Connor.
I have a new theory on this thing since they've just won 2 games and already killed my tanking. We talked about it the day of. It was like,
Told you.
it was too, you couldn't go on a 2-game winning streak for them to tank. They had to commit to the tank at
losing
that
streak.
time.
I told you guys.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose to Seattle.
But I
They're
said
gonna
they
beat
needed to commit to
Vancouver and
it.
Calgary, and then it'll be 2-2.
I said
And
they
how do you
needed
feel
to
about
commit
2-2?
to it, and they didn't want to buy in. They didn't want to do the
No.
tank. They rolled their guys out.
Yes.
Now it's at the point where the only thing you can hope for the Leafs is that they make the right decisions by guys. As in, don't waste any assets that you're going to lose, that being Bobby McMahon. Don't play Matthew Nyes when he's hurt. Don't play Joseph Woll in a back-to-back. Get Anthony Stolarz back in there. You just have to make all the right decisions for guys now and just finish 10th last. Give that to the Bruins. Get something back at the deadline. and eat your lunch. I just don't see any other direction.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. You're hoping that you're giving them the 15th overall pick.
Yeah, you just win as much as possible now, and
You're gonna. I mean, you're not. Okay, you're gonna win as much as possible. As in, you're still gonna trade the guys.
yes,
At the deadline.
totally. Yeah,
but
so
then
do all the right things.
Yeah.
You're competitive in the games.
That's kind of the way it has to happen.
They're too far from either direction.
They are. If we have the drop, mid. They are as mid as it gets. But having said that, with a win tonight, the Leafs will be 1 point back of the in their cup contention window Edmonton Oilers in the standings.
Mid.
So
There you go. The standings posted, tied with two other teams with 61 points.
Can we flash up the
Bruins
Western
at
Conference?
68.
can we flash up the Western Conference there? Jake, if we get a chance.
The Bruins, by the way, in terms of trying to catch someone,
look at that Pacific.
I know. It's wild.
Another layup line year for the Oilers. Where it's just like, you're going to have to beat the Kraken this year instead of the Kings. You're going to have to play Vegas again. Like, it's just every year they just get to beat the same three teams. Layup line.
Yeah. Draisaitl and McDavid with Bakersfield could probably beat Seattle in the first round of playoffs.
I totally agree.
But, Boston is the one team in the second wild card spot. Their underlying numbers, just atrocious. Like, they should.
You think they could?
The bottom should fall out of the Bruins. Like, it's bad. So I definitely think that they're catchable.
Well, if they are, then you shouldn't trade OEL and you shouldn't.
Well, the problem is you're there with Ottawa, who's they're better. They're better.
No waffling here.
They're better.
I'm not waffling.
Florida's right there.
So Leafs find a way to win tonight.
The only waffling is
you're back.
No.
Oh, I mean, people are going to talk like they're back for sure.
Oh, no. There's going to be.
No.
Back talk.
Stop it.
No.
Stop
No.
it.
This is the nightmare. The back
Stop.
talk.
It's not back.
People keep asking if I'm back.
I'm not necessarily believing it either, but there will be people that go, okay, can they go on a
Heater?
17-8, 9?
You know what I heard Troy Stetcher say today? He said, I think we got 18 games against the Eastern Conference after the break. They've looked at it. They know it's a lot of head-to-head combat.
Our boy Friedge said today on the hockey show that they would sell regardless of result tonight. So I have to just hope that he's plugged
But you know
in
what? They're not going to sell before the Olympic break. And so they're going to come out and they're going to see what happens. They're going to see
Okay,
they win the next couple.
I do
enough
have
of this.
I
don't want to do this every day.
I do
They can
have-
sell.
I do
Let's
have-
talk about selling.
I do have McMahon on my board. If they trade him, okay, who is your next obvious choice that has to go after McMahon for, let's just say, a second and a fourth or a second and a third?
I think there's conversations there about Lawton and Nick Waugh, like which guy. You could get way more for Nick Waugh, who I really like. Would you rather have Lawton, re-sign Lawton?
I'm
and
not
get
sure
back?
you can get a lot more for Nick Waugh. Nick
No?
Waugh is on a good contending team. He's a fourth line centerman.
Won a cup as a third line centerman in Vegas.
Our
prove he can do
second, third / fourth.
We played 15 minutes a night.
I like Waugh a lot. I think he's got value. But I want to keep him. So in terms of
keep him and move Lawton.
Well, listen, I think you'd be better off saying, could you do some addition by subtraction, like free up Max Domi's money? Like, is Michelli really helping you at $3 million? I think you can make yourself some cap space that you can hopefully find some guys who fit better. Domi, unfortunately, does not fit. He has to be with Matthews for him to be effective. And even there, he's not very effective. When he's down in the lineup, it doesn't work. He's kind of got the team hostage. You're talking about where Waugh is on a good cup contending team. Any Stanley Cup contenders to you got Max Domi on line one?
No. He's a depth guy.
Yeah.
It's always been about Max can
Good
play
player, but he
anywhere,
doesn't fit.
but he can fit for short periods of time if I need it. But you'll always have him as a depth guy that can play various roles in your lineup.
And you love that at $1 million, but I mean, he's 3+. I don't know exactly, is it more than 3, but it's a lot. So
when is it move 1, move 2, or move 3 pieces for you?
you tell me what you have in mind. What are you thinking? Because you got something.
I think they could move one piece, maybe one and a Nick Robertson, and then call it a day.
Oh,
But I don't think.
You don't think they're going to do a big sell?
I think there's a very good chance OEL could still be a Maple Leaf when this is.
I
all
like
said and done.
OEL sticking around. I think he's got.
He's-
Next year you can sell him with 2 playoffs years if you're no good still.
No, this is the second last year. He's a UFA after next year.
No, he's not. He's got 2 more seasons.
I don't know.
No, I'm sure.
can't
OEL
remember.
got it right here. He's till 2028.
Still perfect.
Yeah.
At what 3-2?
3-5.
3-5.
Yeah.
So there's if you believe that you want to come back and make the playoffs next year, you cannot sell 4 pieces, 5 pieces.
No, I agree with that. I also don't think the solution is just to sell McMahon and go, well, we'll come back at it with Michelli, Robertson, Cowan, and Domi,
Yeah.
4 small offense first wingers and win. It's not going to work. So
I mean, it's just a half measure,
totally.
which it's just the safest thing is probably what they're going to do, and that's been the issue the whole time.
And it's a great way to become 20 years of the Minnesota Wild.
It's just
Finish 14th to 18th every year.
I love all of Rekman Larson, but he's probably having his best year he'll ever have as a Toronto Maple Leaf. He's older, injury prone. Like he could be injury prone in the next couple of years. He's having his best offensive season he's had since he played in Phoenix. Like there's never been a better opportunity to sell high on a guy.
No, you're totally right. It's just if
And
you are trying to win next year, then who eats 20 minutes a night?
Well, somebody that you use the assets that you get for these guys that you trade for.
And I do trust Brad Treliving to do that.
But maybe he
flip
won't be
those and
making the decisions.
I just don't think they'll be that aggressive or creative. I
Which
shouldn't
will
even say
be-
aggressive. I don't think they're that creative.
I think-
I've seen
which
no
is-
evidence.
I've
that there's-
never, and
Which scares me, and I think
we've had these conversations all week.
Yeah.
I believe I know what I think is the right thing to do, but they're not in a position to think like a smaller market team that could buy themselves 3 years
Yeah.
or 4 years.
You just have to do what's best to get your team to a chance to win, regardless of the market. And I think you got to give your fans some credit that they understand, hey, here's what we got to do.
Yeah, we're never going to do the blow up rebuild. We're never going to do that.
Didn't that happen a decade ago? Close to
No, not really. It was a gradual thing, but it
I was
wasn't.
with the Marlies when we
it
were
wasn't-
setting up Tobias Lindbergh and a whole, everyone else that really wasn't going to play there.
They tanked Babs first year bad. They really did.
No, I know, but it wasn't like this where you completely gut and then like it was a gradual thing to get to a competitive nature where we honestly believe that they could challenge for a Stanley Cup was a 4 or 5 year build with Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and eventually Tavares joining up and Riley on the back end, who was signed as a number 1 defenseman in the National Hockey League and a real go-to guy at his, $60 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a build-up of 4 or 5 years. We're talking about how much time do they need to get rid of guys, and then how much time do they got to redevelop these type of assets, which they don't have.
I guess it's just a bad argument. So then you want to see them not try to get good because we got to sell
No, it's to
tickets?
your point. Yeah, I think that's the dilemma. That is the dilemma.
Right.
We got to sell tickets. We need this team.
You know what this is? Nashville just did this. Our market can't sustain being out of the
you
playoffs.
just said it. You want to be Minnesota, or you want to kind of find yourself kind of in that area of, hey, we're good, but we're just never going to be good enough.
Yeah. Nashville went out and
So-
said, give us Stamkos and Marshall. We got to sell tickets. We need butts in the seats. We're bad.
The Leafs haven't used any of their retention things, right? They have 3. Every team has 3. Is that right?
Yeah. Have they not retained? Doesn't look like it.
50%.
Well,
They
they
can
have.
park.
For me, they should be making trades.
Interesting.
Where you're
Park.
using 3 of those
So retain money for better assets.
for 3 players,
Yeah.
and I would hope that for me it would be McMahon is an obvious one.
Yeah. Cut them right in half.
Lawton. I hate to say it because I love Lawton, but
Lawton's only getting paid 1.5 right now because he's worth 3 in there. He's
retain
half
on
retained.
that and retain on all of Rekman Larson, and you could really bring in some assets to refill the cupboards.
The OEL one is tough retention just because it's so many years, right? It's multiple years.
Yeah, but I mean, if you retain $1 million of it with the cap shooting
I guess
up,
it depends what extra you can get for that $1 million.
If they have a chance here to kind of make the cupboards not look so pathetic, not look like my college cupboards.
Yeah. Well,
But they won't do it, and that sucks.
they really just started the process here, within the last week of understanding that we got to make calls now to say, who you interested in and what are we talking about?
God, it's going to be frustrating. I can feel
maybe a little bit more time and
A couple more wins, maybe they don't have to do it.
And you find out what you're dealing with after tonight as well. Are you 2 points closer to
come the Leafs.
You win tonight.
Everybody,
come back from the break. You beat Tampa. You beat Florida. You're right back in it. Let's go.
We're going to go to break here soon, and we're going to welcome in Kevin Lowe. Just one comment because we may not get it in. Just Stolarz, what kind of challenge is this?
Playing against his future team.
Is he ready? Is he ready to take on McDavid and company?
Probably not.
What do you expect?
What is this, his third start since he's come back? I think it's time to start finding form. He said he needed, a week or two or a few games or something?
Was a good showing here could go a long way into
value town.
Value.
Him switching locker rooms?
Well, just value. Just bringing his stock back up.
McMahon and Stolarz. Mike Howard and a pick.
Yeah, you like that?
Sure, I'm in.
All right. Call Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman.
Then Wall disappeared, and you got Akhtyamov and Hildeby as your starting duo.
We're far from solving anything so far, but we'll keep taking a crack at it. Kevin Lowe, former teammate, Stanley Cup champion. He's in Edmonton. We'll get his thoughts on tonight's matchup between the Oilers and the Leafs when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers tonight on Sportsnet, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where we'll feature our very own Justin Bourne on the panel. But for now, let's welcome in 6-time Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Famer, 5 with the Oilers, 1 with my New York Rangers, where we recently celebrated for the 100th year in our 94 team. Unfortunately, the weather kind of kept me shut down.
Bummer.
But I think, Lowsy, you ended up there. And let me ask you something. Is Brian Leach still refuting every version of any story in 1994 from Mike Keenan?
We missed you there, Kip.
I know.
Yeah, it was, Mike was there and Neil Smith was there. Nice to see those guys. It was a good get together, but different times. I think someday there'll be a book out by somebody that sort of puts it all together for the record.
Listen, we're just, for those of you that can't watch Kevin Lowe on our Zoom, he's got a green screen of an ocean behind him. Can you change it to cold and windy and make us feel better?
No, I had 45 years of cold and windy, so the next however many I have on the back 9 left are going to be sunny and blue, just like you see them right now.
Appreciate it and appreciate your time here. And I know you're still doing a lot of things with the Oilers in terms of community stuff and being a great ambassador. But just in terms of what you've seen out of them overall, Lowsy, and where they're headed and just another push towards a Stanley Cup and just your overall thoughts right now as we close in on a break in the Olympics and then obviously a trade deadline and ultimately the playoffs.
Yeah, a couple thoughts. One being, I think they're the exact same team they've been for the last couple of years, and by that I mean that's not good or bad. They're going to be in the hunt, no question. And the reason why I say that is they've had enough of this season to sort of prove where they are. They've beaten good teams, but most importantly, if I'm sure you might have talked about it today, or certainly was in the news nationally about what Connor McDavid said about his. I think it was in the Players Tribune. He had a nice statement about wanting to win a championship in Edmonton and loves playing at Edmonton. And it really, it surprises a lot of people, I suppose, that don't know how good of a city Edmonton is. And when I think back to, all the players that left in the 80s, and none of them left Edmonton because they didn't like Edmonton. They left because the money wasn't good enough. And now money's not a problem. So when you got Connor McDavid wanting to win a championship, you got Leon Draisaitl want to win a championship, and a bunch of their there's the other guys aren't older guys, but they're a little more senior than those two guys, like Hyman and Nugent Hopkins and Darnell Nurse and Ekholm. I mean, there's a lot of guys with a lot of experience that still got a lot of desire to win their first Stanley Cup. So, knock on wood, nothing happens at the Olympics that Connor comes back with a gold medal for Canada and is healthy and can lead the Oilers to get into the play. Obviously they're going to get in the playoffs, but I really believe they'll be in the hunt just the way they've been the last couple of years.
One of the themes of that piece was, that he's not burnt out, that he doesn't need a break, he doesn't need a refresh, he's ready to continue going back at it. And you would have had a lot of experience on deep playoff runs and coming back to it. The thing that stuck out to me is that, there is a physical toll or whatever, but it's probably harder mentally to get up for games in January when you've been in the fight in June so often.
Yes, and that's sort of you hit it on the head. The start of the season, you could tell they didn't have their hearts into it, and it's understandable. It's not what the fans want to hear, but it's a long season. But when I read about that with Connor is that, first of all, the guy's in amazing shape, and he treats his body with so much respect and how he eats and how he trains, and to think that he could play at that high level for so long. Well, he puts that high performance car in the garage in bed at night and tucks it in and takes care of it so it's ready to hum at 140 miles an hour the very next game. I I think there's a lot of people thinking, okay, well, the Oilers are going to be, with Connor coming back for the Olympics, he's going to be tired of this and that. But the desire to win trumps all that stuff. It trumps the tiredness. And again, knock on wood, there's not a lingering injury of some type. But short of that, he'll be fine for the playoff run for the Oilers. And as I just mentioned, hopefully it includes a gold medal for Canada here in the next couple of weeks.
There's so many parallels to draw in terms of, Connor's article about if you want to call me a robot, then so be it. I'm a robot. But you guys had a lot of robots, right? You guys, yourself, Koff, Mass, Gratz, you name it. You guys felt that way. But, where the parallels also draw is like you guys went to constant Stanley Cup finals, and so is Connor right now. Were you guys ever worried about, like, getting ahead of yourselves too much? Because you still got to win the first round, the second round, the third round to even get back to that scenario. But is it something that just naturally falls in place, Lowe, or do you have to be real conscious of it?
Well, once you get in that wheelhouse of, like I said, wanting to win, doing all the proper preparation, being rested, knowing what to expect. These guys have quite a bit of playoff experience. Now, I'm not just talking about, going to the finals 2 years in a row. I'm talking about, they had the setbacks that they know that those can happen at any time. So, Connor, the whole robot message was like, hey, we know how to do it. And we went to the Stanley Cup finals in 83, Stanley Cup finals in 84, Canada Cup in the fall of 84, Stanley Cup finals in 85. That's a lot of hockey in less than 2.5 years. But when you're winning, it's fun. And it's a whole lot easier on you mentally. It's even a whole lot easier on you physically when you know how to win. You know how to get through games and not overtask yourself, particularly in the playoffs. And I think those guys are there. They're just missing one piece now, and that's to bring the silver chalice back to Edmonton.
So coming out of the Olympic break, it's kind of like a week until the trade deadline. If you look at teams that have won the Cup, they've done stuff, right? Brad Marchand gets brought in by Florida. You look at Tampa Bay over the years, Coleman and Gord, and all the things they've done. Is Edmonton in line to do something else, make another ad as they head past that deadline?
Yeah, well, Stan Bowman's done a lot of nice additions, sneaky ones, like a player like Podkolzin is a heck of a player. To think that guy comes in and he's playing on the second line and doing a pretty good job. I think that, because on the back end, I think the back end and goaltending is obviously the question mark. And when I say back end, they can't afford many injuries. Losing Kulak was a big piece. He played well for them, but other guys have stepped in and played really well. So I would think that they're going to try to add a defenseman and they're going to try to add a forward at some type. And that's in Stan Bowman's wheelhouse to be able to pull that off.
Just in terms of what you guys had, was Grant Fuhr and Moog and Brantford, and anytime you ever win the Stanley Cup, you're very solid in the back end. Still some question marks. I don't know if you caught Tristan Jarry's comments the other day about what he'd like to see in front of him, tighten up a lot of things defensively. Typically, Lowe, we don't see goalies over our careers really just look at other things besides, I would like to make one more save for the guys. You had obviously Grant Fuhr there where he could let in 7 and feel still great somehow, some way with a bounce back game. But just in terms of maybe outside of Tristan Jarry, we're seeing goalies a little bit more outspoken. And I don't know, sometimes I think it might be a good thing depending on their tone or how they say it. But we're seeing a lot more outspoken goalies these days.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit of the woke world, I guess. They jumped in with that part of the world. But listen, the Oilers, they've proven the last couple of years they can play pretty good defense when it comes to the playoffs. And I want to sort of sidestep this a little bit and talk about Evan Bouchard. There's certainly Edmonton and people that follow the Oilers are really disappointed that Bouch didn't make the Olympic team. And I suspect I am too, because he's a heck of a hockey player. But the fact is that at the start of the season, when Bouch needed to be sharp, he wasn't. And that's when Team Canada management was watching. And, those giveaways and getting beat one-on-one and kind of stuff. He hasn't done any of that in the playoffs. I have confidence that he can play at a high level. And likewise, all of the defense. I mean, they've had injuries on the back end, which has kind of pressed, the top guys into a lot of minutes. But, hopefully Wallman could be healthy and the group as a whole will be stellar enough that there'll be no complaints about the goal from the goaltenders of the D's doing a little better job in front of them.
So Canada is heading out here pretty quick to launch things. You have quite the Hockey Canada career. What are your thoughts heading into an Olympic Games in Italy this year?
Well, Justin, I was really happy to hear Sam Bennett got added to the team. I mean, I love that energy that he provides. It takes a little pressure off of Marchand to have to be that guy, that he can play his game. He's still going to be that guy if needed. But I like that element in a championship team. And Sam Bennett played so good in the Four Nations. It's you get there, you look at your team, you go, how can we lose? But, the Swedes are thinking they're going to win. The Finns are thinking they're going to win. The Czechs feel like, they got a chance. And of course, the Americans are thinking they're going to win. So you got to go in, you have to go in and be as sound as possible. You got to treat every game you play like a game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals. You have to be tight. You have to try to release the pressure and try to create offense, et cetera, et cetera. But, a good chunk of those guys had the experience in the Four Nations. I mean, this is going to be another level for them, but they've got a good team. They're going to be in the hunt, and I think they'll win gold.
Obviously, Bennett's in for Cirelli, and everything points to the direction of Braden Point skating again, and he should be fine. But I had heard that Zach Hyman was the guy if Point couldn't go, and that's an awfully nice compliment, for Zach Hyman being right there.
He's just been an unbelievable player ever since the Oilers got him. And I know Leaf fans don't want to hear that, but he's found great chemistry with Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as well right now. And that's great when you got, the best player in the world, super happy with his wingers, loves to play with them, knows where they are. Zach has done everything in his power to potentially get the nod. Braden Point's a great player. Hopefully he's healthy, but I hope that, they really consider that because in 06 in Torino, we had a bunch of guys show up injured. And I don't think it was a little bit, I'm not blaming anybody, but a little bit, I don't want to say selfish, but unrealistic to think that you could play at that high level if you're not 110%. And so I hope that that's the case with Braden Point if he does play. And if not, I really hope it's Zach Hyman.
Lowesy, awesome stuff. Always a pleasure catching up with you, my friend. Just keep using that sunscreen, I guess.
So jealous.
So jealous.
Good talking to you guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Appreciate your time.
Hockey Hall of Famer, Kevin Lowe. Man, that guy's done it all in his career. Brilliant.
Do you think Hyman was close,
Oh, yeah. He's right there. Right there.
That hurts if you're him.
That is, you think about him being there, and I sent the thing today about Sam Bennett going, and you're like, that's just a big, strong hockey team, and then you add Hyman, his strength to that team. Yeah. It's like, God, good luck winning a puck battle against Canada. Like, they can be anyway, but Point's really good, too.
Arguments about who should go and whatever. That's just a strong hockey team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
About lack of skill and too much muscle?
Net and blue line.
Oh, yeah.
And spending too much time in their own zone. Concerns. I'm a little concerned.
If right now I gave you Schaefer and Bouchard, but you got to take out Sanheim and Parayko or Doughty, would you do it? Would you make the swap for the skill young guy?
I like him a little older, but I'd seriously
Harley?
consider just having a guy that can really move the puck.
Yeah. Bust a game open, break the puck
just
out.
if he needed to skate it out on his own.
Yeah.
But I mean
Sam Bennett, I mean, my God. He had to be there.
But it's going to be epic, you know. And I just
the only thing.
Listen, Swedes and Finns, like everybody's building up Canada, US. Don't rule out those two clubs.
No.
Yeah, okay.
What?
No?
I won't rule them out.
Okay.
You asked me not to rule them out. I won't rule them out.
Okay. All right.
I guess we don't have a ton of time to do this now, but at least never get a power play, eh?
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 games, 0 power plays.
That's
And
weird.
Ruby was
somewhere
asked
there,
about
wasn't
it. Oh, let's listen. Do we have time?
I think we have time. Let's play it.
Clip
3. Quickly.
Craig
there.
Berube on the lack of power plays.
Clip 3.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I saw penalties out there tonight, and I saw a tripping penalty late in the third wasn't called. I mean, it is what it is. You know, you go through these stretches sometimes, but I think it's 3 and 4 games maybe we haven't got a power play. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I do, but I'm not going to tell you guys.
Move along. There's nothing to see here.
Like, even I can't be like tinfoil hat on this. It's just, it's got to be the style of play.
I don't know.
They don't have the
So
puck
he
enough.
either thinks that it's style of play
Or
or that
or he's
people don't want to
getting-
give the Leafs.
Or we're getting screwed.
Yeah. It's probably that one.
Do you feel like they're getting screwed? Because I'm king of the they're getting screwed brigade, and I don't feel like they're getting screwed.
Yeah. I don't see a ton where it's
No.
like, definitely. There's obviously 1 or 2 a game
Yeah.
where I could have called that
Yeah.
one, but maybe they just don't play a style that draws a lot of.
Give me a
penalties.
number of minutes before they get their first power play tonight.
Yeah, good point.
3?
Yeah.
4?
Totally.
This, by the way,
7 tops.
Benoit, keep your knees tucked around McDavid. Myers, keep your elbows down around McDavid.
Yeah.
No hitter on 97 tonight. We need him.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
No hitter.
Our thanks to Kevin Lowe. 6 Stanley Cups out of that man. All right. Do not go away. Steve Valiquette. It's Tuesday, and it's grill time on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Back after these words. Time to go national on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. We are live on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube, where we appreciate the chats and the thumbs up. In this hour, we'll welcome in Steve Valiquette for his Tuesday hit. Analyst with the New York Rangers, CEO, Clear Sight Analytics. Plenty of news around the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Sam Bennett. There's some Philadelphia Flyer rumblings there. A lot of fans not happy with what's going on. Rick Tocchet goes public a little bit on Mishkov, which is rather interesting. The Preds, of course, now looking for a new general manager. Later on in the show, I'll throw out some names that we're starting to hear. A lot of agents, guys, talk about getting more involved at the executive role now with hockey clubs. So,
well, there's been a lot of success so far with
so far,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, Kent Hughes is doing a pretty damn good job. Jeff Jackson takes over the Oilers as the president. Like, there's a path there.
Just on Sam Bennett, a name that we all talked about, 3 weeks ago about being excluded. What were the odds, really? Like, the team that they named ended up all going and not seeing one substitution, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we made a very strong case for it to be Sam Bennett. Conn Smythe Trophy was won less than a year ago. Pretty good performer in big games, helped the Four Nations team. Seems like kind of the no-brainer guy to step in.
He
there,
did disappear last night. Florida losing to Buffalo last night, but
man, what a win for the
all
Sabres.
indications were that he was fine.
Yeah.
Very relieved that he's going. Like, I got to be honest, I feel sick for Anthony Cirelli. I can't imagine how upset he is right now getting hit.
Does he still get to like go and get a jacket and stuff?
I wouldn't think.
But you're not going to Italy to get a jacket.
I would go want to be a part of the whole thing still.
Maybe Team Italy will take him because they need he's Cirelli. Maybe they'll be like, hey, we'll take him with one shoulder. But it really sucks for him that 2 days before you start to think about leaving. I don't know what it is, but this is
shoulder separation, collarbone, something went on there.
Sam Bennett should be there, and we all knew it, and now he's there, and it kind of worked out in a way where, like, even the guy that we all thought shouldn't have been there got taken off due to injury. Like, I feel kind of bad for putting it out in the world so much, but it is what it is, and now Sam Bennett's going.
Now, how do we get Schaefer or Bouchard there?
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
That's our next mission.
As far as
what about Roberto Luongo in his prime?
Yeah. That would
Ship him in?
We're going to welcome in Steve Valiquette soon here, but maybe we'll just squeeze this real quick here.
Yep.
So many have been talking about the Florida Panthers running out of gas, right? How much, come on, and when does it catch up to you? When does it finally hit them that they've gone on this amazing run the last 3 years?
Right.
And I think it happened last night.
Not even a mental thing or whatever. They just got no bodies left. They had no centers in their lineup last night that was on their cup-winning team. Like, they were all gone by the end of that game. So, how competitive can you be missing your entire spine up front? So I think that's part of it. But last night was the night I said, when things are going to flip for the Sabres, here it is. Florida Panthers going to catch you. And it didn't happen. And to me, that's damn near a death blow.
And
to
Panthers. Fall down early, too, right? To go down 2-0 and still find their way back into the game. But, anyways.
All right. Time to get to the star of Tuesdays on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. Steve Valiquette, New York Rangers, MSG, and, of course, CEO, Clear Sight Analytics. How are you, my friend?
Very good, boys. How are we?
We're good. I think we're good. Getting towards this break where we can all just kind of sit back and watch some fun international hockey. But maybe you can just put a bow on the Florida Panthers for us, just in terms of what they've been through the last 3 years, Valley. And, I look at Bobrovsky, who is like a freak of nature, being in the league as long as he's had. And I don't know if people can truly equate to the amount of hockey they've played or Bobrovsky has played. It's the equivalent to adding one more season than, 20 teams, 22 teams in the league.
That's fair, Kyper, because it looks like wear and tear on him more than anybody right now. I felt like watching that game last night that I caught the drift of what you were saying as I signed on here. That was it. That was the one that put them out. Bobrovsky, he is performing. It's shocking, but he's performing at the lowest level of all goalies in the NHL right now. 2 years ago, when the team went to the final and won their first cup, he was a +9, meaning he saved his team 9 more goals during the regular season. Last year, he dropped to a -6, but right now he's a -22. A -22. He's in a world of his own right now, and that ranks 91 out of 91 goalies this year in the NHL. So that's not just struggling and off his game. Your last place. The goalie errors, the go-ahead goal last night against him, the number 3 goal, it was a misplayed puck. And that's what I think I'm hearing from you, which is it's mentally exhausting. You just start making mistakes that you wouldn't typically make. That was his 11th bad goal this year. That's 9th worst in the league. And I've brought this up in the past. When your goalie allows a bad goal and the opponent does not, you lose 74% of the time. So there's 11 losses right there where he's put his team up against it. And I went through all of his per shot because I wanted to see if there was noise around one or two things, and it's not. He's a -2 in breakaways. The east to west, he's a -3. He usually dominates that. Broken plays, -4. Screens, he's given up 4 more than he should have. And then rebounds, which has been his biggest issue this year, is -8. And when you're a -8, now it's league worst in rebound goals, what that really tells me is you're not seeing it clean off the release, which is why you're not finding it first. And I think for Bobrovsky, and it starts with the goalie out, that's the biggest issue that Florida's having right now.
Just real quick here, and then we'll move on. He's at the end of his contract, Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Would you bring him back if you were Bill Zito?
No.
It's over?
I just wouldn't. Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, 37 years old. And, as much as I love him and he always comes through in the playoffs, there's a point for all of us. And the one thing that always gave me hope with Bob, even in past years where he, at one point, this was the worst contract in the NHL 4 years ago. And the thing about Bob is he gets a little more rope than most because he's the hardest worker, most committed. And I think there is a toll to be paid when you have that as your, I guess that is what you are. You're known as that guy. And I think that takes its toll on your overall game. I mean, he's not stopping the puck, guys. I mean, it's time to hand it over to Danil because he actually has been.
It's crazy. And then watching in Tampa Bay, I was just looking at the basic stuff I can access and, the save percentage and stuff. Vasilevsky's been that dude again. 2-part question. Vasilevsky's back. Does that mean they have a chance to win a cup? And also goalie fights. He fought.
Yeah.
Does that make you like him more or less? What'd you think?
Well, okay. On that one, I wasn't as excited because to me, it looked like it was just staged. I was watching the game. I mean, hugging and kissing afterwards and stuff like that. It was nice.
Oh, my Kip's looking at me like, "Sue, told you it was staged." What is staged? They're in the other nets. How do you stage it?
Hey,
Bringing cans?
What are the odds of that happening in an indoor game?
No, of course it's because it's the outdoor game.
What I thought, Bourne, was staged as in let's just do this because it's fun. We're having fun.
That's
out
all
here.
goalie fights. Every goalie fight is just
No, I want to
because.
see. I think that a goalie should fight because he has to fight to stick up for a teammate. The other goalie sees it and he makes the distance. But no, I don't know. I wasn't into that one.
Got
Sorry.
all the boxes there. That all happened.
Almost all the boxes.
You're right, though. No, he's playing well. I mean, but they were down 5-1 in the game, so tough to say about that one. But
fair.
No, but he is. He's playing well overall, and he's near the top. I mean, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, interesting enough, like how they've been able to remake themselves and build themselves back into a great team, and they are a great team. I mean, how many great teams are there this year? Colorado, Tampa. After that, it gets pretty thin. I did this pretty neat exercise today, guys, that I want to share with you. When you've heard GMs say this before, where when pitchers and catchers report, you better be in the Stanley Cup playoffs or you're not going to make it. Was it Brian Burke or was it Mac that said it? I don't know, but I've heard it before.
Heard it.
So I went back and looked at it, and it was pretty neat. So last year, pitchers and catchers, they reported February 9th. So I went back into the standings, and there was one team that was out in the East at that time. It was Montreal. And there was one team that was out in the West, and that was St. Louis. St. Louis went on a run to get in last year, guys. They went on a 19-4-3 run from February 9th to the end of the season to get in. So although I think you're being a little cynical sometimes about the Leafs' chances of getting in, there's still a chance. Montreal went 14-6-6. Detroit went 10-13-2. That's why they flipped. Right. Vancouver, they were in the lead at the point that St. Louis took over. Vancouver actually had an 8-point lead last year at that February 9th marker. So it was one team in each, the East and the West last year. 2 years ago, pitchers and catchers also reported February 9th. I had to look this up. It was the Dodgers and San Diego Padres, but that was it. There was a little bit of a gap, and then 3 more days, everybody else had their pitchers and catchers. Yeah. But Philly was in, Detroit was in, Washington was out by 7 points. The Islanders were out by 2 points. And so Washington and the Islanders got in where Philly and Detroit missed. So once again, just 2 teams. And 3 years ago, it was also 2 teams. Pittsburgh was in, Washington was in. The Islanders were out by 1 point. Florida was out by 2 points. They both got in. Calgary and Minnesota, they were tied with 61 points. Minnesota got in. And that was as of February 15th. 4 years ago, because I went back that far, the playoffs were all set. They were all set in the East and West. Dallas came back from 5 points out. Vegas was in, they ended up missing. So it was 1. So when you go back over the 4 years, it's only been 7 teams out at this point, pitchers and catchers, and then being able to make the playoffs. I thought that was pretty fascinating.
So, Valley, if we assume that maybe Toronto and Florida and Ottawa think that they can go on a heater here, how much do they need Boston and Buffalo to kind of have their floor cave in here?
They're going to have to play 3 or more games below 500. Okay. And, I'm looking at, for instance, Buffalo's wild, right? Like we had a Buffalo Ranger game a couple weeks ago, and they were just starting their run. They were 11-1. But I looked them up, guys. Since December 9th, they're 21-4-1, Buffalo.
Jeez.
And, and Bourne, I think it really dawned on them, the players, that they had to play differently. So what changed? And they went from being really the riskiest team in the NHL, going up the ice off the rush and giving it right back against them. So they went from being a team that was going off the rush. They had the second best rush offense at the time of that December 9th was when they actually took off. But when they took off, they stopped playing off the rush completely. They're right now, guys, they're the 31st ranked team off the rush. They still have success converting, but they're not going for it, and they're not giving up nearly as much back against. They went from 30th to 17th. They've really locked down the rush against. But again, they have to get into that top 10 to be a shoo-in for the playoffs, although I think that they're going there. The last time we saw this was Florida. When they won the President's Trophy in 21-22, they were the best rush team in the NHL, and then they shut it down and started focusing on protecting their rush against. And they are now number 32 the last 2 years going into their playoffs as far as going for the rush, but a top 5 rush defense. So I thought that the correlation between what Buffalo did, Florida once did, Vegas did, as well as St. Louis when St. Louis won in 2019, there's something there to be said about the playing style and being able to shut down your urge to go offensively off the rush so that you can protect home.
Makes sense to me. So, Valley, tonight, the Oilers play the Leafs. Edmonton's crease, in kind of disarray. I don't know if you heard Jari's comments the other day.
I did.
Yeah. What did you think of the comments?
What do you hear for
If you
goalie
missed
comments
it,
this
folks,
year?
He basically just said that it's the high danger chances, and he can't even think about his own game because the chances are so challenging.
Yeah. So what's interesting there for sure is, I can look that up and see exactly if he's feeling it or if he's maybe creating it. But he does play in a really tough environment. And let's just put his time in Pittsburgh into context as well. His time in the net this year between Pittsburgh and Edmonton, he's had the 4th most difficult array of scoring chances against him. So I think, and this is my own theory, NHL goalies are feeling it because they're facing more high danger chances. They're facing fewer fluff shots. And I think they're agitated to a certain degree. So we've seen more goalies speak up this year than any year that I can recall. But that game against Minnesota, Bourne, the one that he spoke after and in that tone, he faced 11 high danger chances in that game. That's a hard game.
That is.
NHL goalies should be facing 6. 5, 6 on a good team. 2 games prior against Washington, Edmonton gave up 14 high danger. They gave up 11 in the game prior to that, which was a 6-2 loss to Pittsburgh. So he's seen a stretch of these games for a while here where he's faced a lot. And I think that, the NHL has really moved from a put it on net league to a make the goalie move first league. And he, like everybody else, is just feeling it and is frustrated. That was my take on it. 24 goalies that have faced. I got lots of stats. I'll share them later.
You got something on goalies?
I was just going to ask. I looked at some Sportlogic stats today, and the Dallas Stars were 32nd in shots and 32nd in shot attempts, 6th in high danger shot attempts or inner slot shot attempts. So, I couldn't figure out, is that a bad offensive team, or maybe in the world you're talking about, that's exactly how you want to be?
Well, you know what, Bourne? It is, and I think it really reflects even the game last night, Toronto-Calgary. Calgary-Toronto last night, the recipe that really has and yields the highest chance to win is 7 or more high danger chances in the game while shooting 12 or fewer low danger chances in that same game. Last night, Toronto had 8 high danger chances. They scored on all 3 of them, 3 of the 8. They only had 10 low danger shots on net. So that's a hard night for Wolf. Sure. Really difficult night. Now, conversely, Calgary, they had 5 high danger, but they took 18 low danger and they had 4 dumps from the neutral zone. So 22, quote unquote, bad shots on Joseph Woll. And Calgary, converse to what you're saying with Dallas, really is the mirror opposite, because Calgary is the fourth worst shooting team as far as fluff, low danger shots. They've taken 854 of them this year. That's 4th worst. They've only scored 9 goals on those 854. And I think what's worse for Calgary is that in the offensive zone, they're 28th in retrievals. So they're not even getting it back after they shoot it. So I would say, what would Calgary define their style of play as? Because you can't define just shooting easy ones and then not getting it first. Florida does that. They do. They're top retrieval team the last 2 years, not this year, of course. Tampa Bay is the top retrieval team this year in the offensive zone. Colorado's right there. Carolina's right there. The top teams get the puck back when they shoot it with intent to get it back. Not all shots are meant to score. Some of them are just to get the D moving. But Calgary, to me, they're a confused offensive team for sure.
Speaking of goalies with some outspoken comments or questionable comments over the season, Stolars and Allmark, Toronto and Ottawa. Stolars will play against the Oilers tonight. Allmark's just back. You talk about a team that needs to get on a serious heater. It's both these clubs. What are the odds of Stolars and Allmark coming back and being real difference makers here?
Well, I'll start with Allmark, Kyper, because I think that Ottawa has him right where they want him. And where that is uncomfortable. I think he needs to be uncomfortable. If he gets too comfortable, I think he takes the foot off the gas and he is playing a complacent game that's too relaxed. You can see with the way that he has intent right now on beating the pass. When a puck goes from below the goal line to the slot, you should look up and see the goaltender at a complete stop as the player that's receiving the puck in the slot just gets the puck on first touch. And that's what he looks like right now. Whereas before, he was casual, getting there on his own time, playing at his own pace. But I think right now, he's got something to prove to the fans, his coaching staff, management. It's only on the first year of his extension, and he's got to prove it to his teammates, first and foremost. So he's on edge. And I think that, at least listening to his comments after his last start, seems very grateful for the opportunity. But now it's like the season has captured his attention. And now he's thinking about what comes next for me. I want to make this work. Everybody's been, very supportive here when I've gone through this ordeal. So I feel like you've got him right where you want him, because you've got to stay on this guy. As I said many times, you need a strong room to support him. But in this case, I think keep him on edge a little bit, and you're going to get the best from him. He's very capable with his talent to go on a run, as long as he stays engaged. Stolarz, his first start that I saw back, I mean, I was really worried. So I don't know what to expect. He looks far from what he looked like last year. I mean, technically, physically, positionally, he looks like he's running around. I'm going to watch the game just to watch him. And trust me, I'll be watching it through a straw. I want to see exactly what he does all over the ice. Yeah, I'm a little concerned, more than a little concerned. In fact, I heard your comments, Kyper, maybe a week ago. You said, I'm not 100% sure about keeping both of these two guys, Woll and Stolarz. And with the way that Hildebeest played, I think you have to strongly consider moving one of Woll or Stolarz. Didn't think I'd say that a year ago, but because I don't know day after day who's going to be ready to play, who wants to play, who wants the net. You can have one of those guys that's supremely talented in your roster, but you can't have two, and right now they have two.
So what does Canada have? We have the opening ceremonies, the Olympics on Friday. How's our boy Binner the winner? Are we okay?
And are you going back to Italy because you've been there?
Well, I have a funny story to share about that. That's for sure. I'll start with the story. Okay, guys. So I played in Italy, Bourne. I don't know if you know this, Kyper. I played there my final year. And I got there because my junior teammate, Mike Ellis, called me up. I was going to retire. I was supposed to be on the airplane with the Russian team that went down in Yaroslavl. So I shut it down after that. Ooh. And anyhow, it was February. I got a call from Mike Ellis. He said that they were going to get relegated to the lower league in Italy if they didn't go on a serious run. Yeah. Their goalie was injured, etc. Anyhow, I get there. I get smoked in my first game, smoked in my second game, and I'm like, I thought I was coming here for some pizza and wine. It proved to me that there's always pressure. That's what it really proved, this experience. I figured it out. I had a little conversation with myself. I told myself I was just going to go out there and compete. We went on a run. We went on a 12-5-2 run so that we didn't get relegated. Now, during this time, my son was there. He was 3 years old. After a win in Italy, now we were playing in the silver medal building where it was built during the Torino Olympics. And we have 6,000 people coming to every game. And after the game, when you celebrate, you first skate around the ice with a flag. Then you get off the ice and you walk around the ice on the rubber. All the fans stay and they give you high fives. So you go around the outside of the rink, okay?
Like the storm surge, but longer.
It was so long. Then the third round is, if you have children, you grab your kids, you put them in your arms, you skate around the ice, and they're all, my son's name is Dalton, they're giving him a thumbs up because he's doing thumbs up. So it's an amazing experience. I wanted to get a picture of my son and I on the ice. So the photographer that, in the town, they shut down every day from 12:30 until 3:30.
Oh, that's nap time.
That's a long time.
Buddy, shut it down, okay? So we're in a small town. I want to get this picture. And every time I go in there, the guy that's like behind the desk is just coming back from his late lunch nap and everything. He's got a big wine mustache. And I'm like, I just want the picture. It takes me until the end of the year. But I really figure out how the Italian people are moving over there really slowly because they're getting hammered hammered at lunch. They wake up, they go to work from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and then they go get hammered again.
So what you're saying is we should be really worried about the ice. I've
heard you guys talk. I've been meaning to let you guys know.
Yeah.
I know how
There's
it
a
works
reason
over
there was delays.
It always gets done, but nobody has more fun than the Italians. All right. I had an amazing time. What an amazing experience. But back to the hockey stuff, guys. Okay. So Logan Thompson, he is right behind Sorokin. He's not going to he's not going to catch Sorokin as far as the Vezina goes, Bourne. If Sorokin keeps going like this, he should be up for MVP and Vezina. He has better numbers today than Hellebuck finished with last year. That's how good Sorokin's been overall. So Sorokin and then Logan Thompson is number 2. Go all the way down the list of every goalie that's played this year, and then it's Bobrovsky at the very bottom, Binnington, and then Ullmark. Those are the bottom 3 goalies in the NHL.
Jeez.
Like big names, but those are the bottom 3 performing goalies this year. So do you want to go with Binnington, who is, and I watch every game, guys. He's not getting better, and I want him to. I love watching him play. I want to see him compete, but he's not getting any better. And Logan Thompson, although he's got something going on right now, overall, he's been the second most consistent goalie in the league. I don't see how you can look past that.
Okay.
But not to say who doesn't get the first game.
Can I just, let me just go back because, if he's not getting better, then why is he there? And he's there, and I'm talking about Binnington. Yeah. Why he's there is because he's proven he can raise his game up in high pressure situations. Logan's never done that before. So tell me where this has a potential to play out.
Well, if you remember the Four Nations, it was after the Sweden game that he was possibly maybe not even going to get the next start. Look, it could go there, Kyper, very early on and test them out against some of the weaker teams. They're going to have some fluff games.
I don't know. The first one may not be fluff. It's the Czechia.
No, that's Czechia, not France, and Switzerland are the 3.
France. You can play France.
So you wouldn't start him, right?
Czechia is just here's Pasternak, Natchez, and Hurdle.
No. I'm telling you, Logan Thompson's too good. If Logan Thompson was middle of the road, I'm listening to you. But how can you not have a guy that's played Logan Thompson? It's been 2 years now he's been at the top. Logan Thompson's game is
just don't lose that first game, Logan.
Well, I don't think he will. I have a lot of confidence in him. He can play the game. He can move. He's not going to get smoked. He'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little concerned here.
Early tester. I'm not just saying a little early tester.
Any thoughts on the additional pressure of single game elimination stuff for goaltenders? Is there any sort of way to play or different mentality in those scenarios? You're always trying to stop every shot, I guess.
Yeah, I think most guys will tell you, Bourne, it's actually better because it just tightens your focus. I think the biggest issue a lot of goalies have is just at certain points of the game losing their focus. When they have their level played at their highest moment, they're always going to get their best stuff. I think guys during an 82-game schedule, of course, they get physically tired, but I think mentally there are certain points of the season that you lose your killer instinct a little bit. Mm-hmm. And like Logan Thompson, the neat thing about this guy's story, guys, is this guy's like an AAU player and he came like with a chip on his shoulder and he still has it. So, I think that's something there. And that he was left off last year and he's got a lot to prove. I think it'll help him. It'll help Benner, of course, but look, statistically, it's hard to support a decision to play Binnington in the first game. He scares me right now.
I'd be remiss if we got into grill marks or whatever we call that segment where I'm in last place.
Oh, you're good, Smoke Kyper.
Be remiss to ask you going into a freeze tomorrow at 3 Eastern, whether or not we'll see any or you getting anything on a goalie market out there. I've got Wallstead from Minnesota on my list as a potential trade chip for Bill Guerin, but what are you hearing about the market?
Definitely Wallstead. People are crazy about him. I don't know if Minnesota wants to go there, but I am a big believer in Philip Gustafsson. So if they choose to go that way and just go number one goalie and get somebody else, I could see that. I could see Calgary possibly parting with Devin Cooley.
Ooh, really?
To me,
lots of categories.
A lot, right, Borny? And if I was doing my homework, that's who I would call on, because it reminds me of when San Jose had Toskala, they had Nabokov, they had Kypreos. And Toskala got dealt, Kyper got dealt, of course, out to Calgary. But, they have a really good development program. Mackenzie Skapski is their guy that develops the goalies in the minor leagues there. He's got a great reputation. I've heard as many as 6 NHL teams are going to change goalie coaches this summer. A lot of teams want to make changes. We've seen what's happened in the market. You probably have to have this guy on your radar as your first interview. And, you look at Vladar, I know he's out right now, but he had success in Philadelphia and he was playing really well. Sam Erson's really struggling. That's part of the reason why Philly's dropped so significantly. But Devin Cooley has been a top guy in the minor leagues for a long time. He's one of the top guys in the NHL this year. You saw what they developed with Dustin Wolf. So you'll always want to go. And that's what I've been told for years, guys, with scouts and GMs. And I think sometimes when they're drafting, they know whether or not they are a team that can develop goalies, defense, or forwards. And depending on what team's drafting where, when it's close between 2 players, I've been told there are times where, we're going to take the D because we've had a lot of success drafting, developing D, and we haven't done well with scoring forwards, for instance. And I know that teams think like that sometimes. Well, if I'm somebody that's acquiring, I want to see who's had success drafting, developing, and Calgary's that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we good for the marks of the grill here?
Yes, let's get some grill marks on Kyper's ass.
All right.
Last place.
Right, so we've got Bourne 32, we've got McKee 26, Kyper 22.
Ugh.
All right. I even considered just doing a full lefty righty and going back 30 years and just calling out players to get Kyper back in this.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, but I'll save it. I'll save it for next week.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. And you asked me this a couple of weeks ago, Kyper, so I delivered for you here. You wanted to know who the biggest cookie monster was in the NHL. So who scores the most when their team is up by 3 or more goals or down by 3 or more goals?
Ooh, I love it.
All right.
Nick Robinson.
Now here.
Oh, sorry, did I say that?
Matt Boldy, Tyler Bertuzzi, Jason Robertson.
I'm going to take Bert.
Yeah, I'm going Bert too.
Matt Bold. Who's the other one? Not Matt Boldy.
Matt Boldy, Tyler Bertuzzi, Jason Robertson.
I'll take Jason Robertson.
Kyper's on the board. Jason Robertson.
Right.
Jason Robertson has 9. Bertuzzi has 6. Boldy has.
What team's pulling the goalie the most? Right against.
There you go. So you're thinking like Borny now.
I was thinking the Blackhawks were losing all the time.
Yeah, that's
always.
what I thought.
Yeah.
All right. I think you guys are going to like this one because this one's a brother combo. I couldn't believe it. The brothers are first and second.
Okay.
All right. Okay. The Hughes brothers. Now there's 3. Keep in mind. The Strome brothers or the Robertson brothers. Who has the most? Now, wait. I got to add one thing to this. This is even better. This is when you're up by 4 or more or down by 4 or more. So this is a true cookie monster.
I caught it right away. It's Robertson's.
Yeah, it's definitely Robertson.
Oh, yeah. I'm going Robertson's.
Across the board.
It is. It is. It's so funny. Jason Robertson has 4 and Nick has 4.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, are they trained to do this or what?
That's something. I don't know what.
All right, we're going to flip it now and look on the positive side. Biggest game breaker who scores the most when their team is up by 1, down by 1, or score tied. These players all have 20 or more goals under these conditions. Morgan Geekie, Cole Caulfield, Nathan McKinnon.
Caulfield.
Great pick. Give me McKinnon. He scores the most.
I'll go with the guy least suspected here, and I'll go Geekie.
Cole Caulfield.
Yeah.
All right.
Cole
Sammy.
Caulfield. Yeah, he's got 27. Guys, I'll tell you
he's
what.
on fire.
This guy is on every 27. He's on every single list. How is he not on the team? How is he?
How
not
many
on
goals
Team
does he
USA?
have all year?
I'm really happy. Thank you, Bill Guerin. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
For not taking it.
And
I know, as a
also,
Canadian,
for
like-
what it's worth, Jason Robertson's on a lot of the good lists too, except for the Cookie Monster one there. So, all right, you guys.
All right, Valley, we appreciate it, buddy.
Wow, Valley.
All good.
Awesome
you know?
stuff. Enjoy your little break, and we're coming right back at you when we start up again, okay?
All right, sounds good, boys. Enjoy
I
the
love
hockey.
watching you guys when I'm on.
Doug McLean. All right.
See you, Valley. Thanks.
See you,
Steve
boys. Bye.
Valiquette does a great job for us. His stuff from his Clear Sight Analytics company is phenomenal.
Always great.
Always great.
Bobrovsky stuff was fascinating.
Yeah.
Did you guys know his deal was up?
I did.
How has that not come up more? He's a UFA?
Only Toronto and UFAs get talked about all day. It's game time, presented by Bet365. Visit the app latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. The feature game tonight on Sportsnet, broadcast nationally across our wonderful nation, with this face. That face will be on the panel with who on the panel, Borny?
Oh, we got Friedman, Gazdick, and DA.
Oh, love it.
Is Sam sick again?
I think he's in Milan.
I'll
Maybe
take
he's in
what I can
Milan.
get, pal.
So I just know that Connor McDavid loves to light up the Leafs, and he's been really good all year, like he is every single year. I'm just going to take a very easy pick here.
Yep.
Give me a Connor McDavid 3-point night at plus 210, and you could even talk me into 4 points at plus 575.
Jeez.
Leafs are not very good. They've played against
3 points for 210?
Yep. I mean, that's how good he is at hockey.
Yeah.
That you're not even that big of a favorite to get it in the National Hockey League. But the Leafs have played 2 tomato cans in a row, and now they're playing a team with 2 of the best players on earth. So give me Connor McDavid 3 points at plus 210. The actual line on the game tonight, Leafs are big-time dogs tonight. Plus 155 on the money line. Oilers are minus 185.
I looked into some stats. The areas where Edmonton's offense is top 5, there's like 5 or 6 categories where the Leafs defense is coincidentally bottom few.
This could be
It could be a rout.
Yeah, my spidey senses are tingling. And, you know,
They need this for the playoffs.
Connor's going to play 38 minutes tonight, so he's going to have lots of chances to get his 4 points.
I'm feeling for Stolars right now.
Yeah, he's going to get lit up. Like
They are throwing him to the wolves tonight.
But they always win without Riley, so maybe they'll win without Riley.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. It's 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay, let's catch a quick break here, and plenty to get into, including what's going on in Philadelphia. Rick Tockett's been very public about his star young player in Mishkov, and I think there's a lot of people questioning right now the Philadelphia Flyers. Also, also, Nashville Predators looking for a new head honcho. Some names out there.
You get a call or what?
I didn't get a call.
No.
But I'll tell you who may have gotten a call.
I look forward to hearing.
That and more when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. JB, heartbreaking day for our hockey community after 3 junior players killed in a Alberta crash.
Yeah, we just wanted to send our condolences out. It's just an awful story. Southern Alberta Mustangs lost 3 of their players. So our condolences to their friends, family, teammates, Cameron Casorso, JJ Wright, and Caden Fine. Just really tragic. Sad story. And so we're thinking of everyone there, and our hearts go out to you.
That's just brutal.
Yep, thoughts and prayers. Yeah. We talked about the goaltenders out there with some outspoken comments over the season. It just seems like it's been one of those hockey years where I think, and you've touched on this, in so many ways it's refreshing to kind of get more information and have people more open and honest. And I don't know if there's anybody out there more open and honest than Rick Tocchet right now. Yeah. But he calls it the way he sees it, and he's not scared to, certainly. And that was the case earlier when Tocchet appeared on a Philadelphia podcast talking about one of his star players, young Michkov, who's had a real challenging year. It doesn't appear like he's going to hit the same marks that he hit last year, scoring, I think, 63 or 64 points.
Fans are mad because he doesn't play much.
And fans are upset that they're not seeing this guy turn into a star in front of their eyes. And it's turned into quite a story.
It has. What did he go? 7th overall? Like, he wasn't like 2nd overall. Some people knew there was some risk here, and I think this was part of the risk. People weren't sure what they were getting.
Do you guys want to hear the clip?
Yeah.
It's from the Philly Flyers podcast with Charlie O'Connor, who we've had on the show before, and Bill Motz. So let's play that.
We've talked about it, and I'll be very frank. And Charlie, I'm a very frank guy, honestly. I go down swinging. Yeah. Matty did not come into camp in shape. And it's hard to play yourself in shape. I have not told him or any other players, take a guy one-on-one. Come out of the corner with the puck. On a rush, make a play through rush. He's having a tough time in those situations. So, yeah, you could say, well, other players try. I mean, I get it. Maybe they don't have the skill set. But we're trying to get him to that level, right? How to develop him, practice, making sure that you're on time for treatments and things like that. There's so much into that. The way you eat, that's it.
I think there's real frustration when you're with a player every day. Having had teammates that had high expectations for draft picks, having been with the Marlies and seen some of the guys that come in that people were excited about, and the outside world is like, why aren't they on the first power play unit? Why aren't they getting the ice time to develop? And it's like, you need to watch. Like, there's a level where you want to give them opportunity, but they have to earn some. They can't just, repeatedly be handed chances while their teammates watch it and go, how come he gets to go out there again? He's no good.
So I was doing some reading just amongst the various Philly websites, and it was big news that Friedman talked about it. Like it broke contain.
Yeah.
And then they talked about it on 32 Thoughts, and now we're talking about it. So this was a Philly story that had been being talked about now. But now that this is kind of broken contain, it's got the potential to get pretty ugly.
Oh, it's got legs. And just to speak on what you're talking about, think about how many times Rick or anyone else in the organization would work with him or any other young kid, and how many times would they have said something before they finally feel like they got to go public?
Totally.
So
totally.
I get that frustration, but I'm going to be a little bit of a broken record because I've had a bit of a theme this season on PR.
Yep. And
as frustrated as Rick is, you cannot go public with this. You can't turn it into a big story. And that's what it is right now. So here's a kid who doesn't get it, right? And he talked about not coming on time to a treatment. People listen to that and go, how can that be? How can you not come in shape? Mm-hmm. And all it does is just pile on. And it serves no purpose now to have 10 or 15,000 people kind of pull the curtain back and see what Rick's seeing. It serves no purpose except having a fan base now look upon him going, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. This guy we're paying a lot of money to, or he's going to ask for a lot of money one day, and he doesn't have the decency to show up on time for treatment.
You know when I think it changes and it becomes okay to do this is if you think it's not going to change. Like, if you think that you can still work with this kid, because right now everybody's been piling on talk, and I've been following the story loosely.
Yeah.
And people have been saying that, why doesn't the coach play him? Needs to be given opportunity. This is a major problem. If they're not going to make playoffs, get the kid going, and it's on talk. So I think at some point, talk, it's like, I'm getting a lot of heat here. Why is no one else seeing this? And I think he feels some need to defend himself. And so, to your point, he shouldn't, probably, for PR purposes. But if he genuinely does not think this kid cares or is going to make that change.
So this is where the story gets bigger and it grows like legs.
But Kip, if you hire Rick Tocchet, you kind of got to know, like, we know this about him. It's why he was our favorite guest for 2 full years. It's because he comes on, he speaks his mind. He did it in Vancouver. He's done it so far and feel like he's a painfully honest guy. He even said in that clip that he doesn't mess around. Like, he is who he is. Telling him to not be honest when he sits down on a podcast and gets asked about it.
Is who he is too. So what gives? What like?
That's the question. I don't know.
Who goes?
Don't
who
know.
stays?
Don't know. Do not know.
I
That's the
think,
question. I don't know.
I agree that talk runs the risk when he talks about this openly of, room burnout or guys not loving the coach because he's airing out dirty laundry in public, whatever you may call it. But I think at the same time, when teams cover this stuff up and they kind of look silly and they don't know what they're doing, at some point you just got to say, here's what it is. We're working with them on it. We want him to be better. We're rooting for him. Like, he wants Michkov to be Celebrini. He would love to play him 22 minutes a night and send him to, well, he can't, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
He would love that.
Some team should swoop in there and.
Well, that's where the story is. The next thing in my mind is like, does this mean now?
Well, I didn't have any flyers on my trade board. But they're thinking about doing something big, and I don't know if there's enough time to do it at the trade deadline or this summer. But if it kind of just trends where it's going right now, there's going to be some there's going to be some tough decisions in terms of who stays and who goes.
I got 2 thoughts on that. One is the team knows first. They know. Yeah. You absolutely know. And if they think they want to move off, well, he's got name cachet, because right now you could still, he still has enough cachet and upside that you could trade him. Cool. The other thing is, look at what Cutter Gauthier is doing in Anaheim. That's devastating. He's so good.
But this guy is like within a whisker of being on a USA team for the Olympic team.
I had him on my list. I think he's good enough.
But he is
in his second year.
World power, and it's just
turn that into Jamie Drysdale. Now, if you take Michkov and he goes somewhere and he finds it,
ooh, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for Flyer fans watching that kid in Anaheim now.
Yeah, they were kind of backs against the wall, had to do something, but obviously it didn't work out, and don't want to do it twice, boy.
All right, as I mentioned, no shortage of names now starting to surface on Nashville.
Okay.
I still, guys. I've done this a long time.
Yeah.
Cannot come up with one decent reason why they would do this now.
Why Nashville would?
Why, Barry Trotz would step down now with, a couple days before the Olympics, a trade deadline coming up, and putting that energy out there when his contract doesn't expire for another year and a half. I don't get it. But
it has to be that there are big decisions to be made and that they want someone else to make those big decisions.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they name somebody in a week, 10 days, or just after the Olympic break.
Someone to be there at the deadline.
So we mentioned Brendan Shanahan. Everybody's got him at the very top of the list. Yep. But there's other ex-players that have gotten into management. Jason Spezza's name's out there. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You sure he'd leave Dubas?
What's that?
You sure he'd leave Dubas?
Yeah, he would.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
His boy.
I'm sure. Mark Bergevin, of course, is probably the one that has the most experience out there in terms of guys that have just recently done it, although he's been out a little while. Then there's that that list of assistant general managers that are on the outside that have been doing it for quite a while. We had Chris Draper on the other day. Yep. Gregory Campbell's in Florida now under Bill Zito the last few years. Rob DeMaio had spent 10 years with Doug Armstrong, I think, in St. Louis. So those names are out there. And then there's these agents now. Yeah. You know, Pat Brisson, his name's been out there. I'm not sure if he wants it. Wade Arnott from Newport. Judd Moldaver.
Wow.
That name's out there.
Matthews to Nashville confirmed.
Ian Pulver, who used to work for the PA.
That's just you just named all the agents.
Darren Ferris. But Bill Zito opened all this up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Nashville's got options. I don't know who's best.
Me or you?
Yeah.
Could Sammy do it?
Give it a no.
Yeah, I would be like, every good player to the Leafs.
All right.
Yossi for a third.
Leafs in Edmonton National tonight. And we're back tomorrow on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Thanks for watching, everybody.